Let's make some beautiful fall crafts. Don't blink or you'll miss this one. I saw on Pinterest where someone took a can of Libby's pumpkin puree and it has a picture of a piece of pumpkin pie on the front and it is really cute, and they used it as a vase. But when I went to get myself a can, I saw this farmer's market brand at Walmart, organic pumpkin, and it was a little bit pricey, but I thought the label was so cute, and so I got this, and I made a pumpkin dessert with the pumpkin and then kept the can and cleaned it out. I ended up using a sponge pouncer brush to apply some antique wax, and I put some floral foam in the bottom of the can. I am not good with floral arranging, but I did my best. And that's it for this one. This one is also very quick and easy. I have these bottles from apple juice, and I got these from Dollar Tree. They also sell them in a multi-pack at Walmart, I noticed, at my Walmart anyway. And it was actually cheaper at the Dollar Tree than it was at Walmart for me in my area. I used some acetone and removed the expiration dates on the bottles. You could just paint these, but I'm going to take some clear school glue and some brown food coloring. You could also use different types of Mod Podge instead of the school glue. There's several ways of going about it, and each way, gives a slightly different result. I didn't have orange food coloring, unfortunately. You might want to go with the orange. I knew from using this before that it will look orange enough if I use the school glue and the brown food coloring, and so it did. It looked orange enough. And then for the top, for the leaves on the bottle, I'm using some clear school glue and a little bit of green food coloring. I did put a little bit of the brown food coloring mixed in there with the green just to darken it up a little bit. I wanted to make the other bottle into an apple, and I did not have red food coloring either, so I need to get some more food colorings, especially before the holiday season. But I went ahead, I had a feeling this wouldn't work very well, but I thought I would go ahead and try it since I hadn't yet. And I took some dishwasher safe Mod Podge and mixed it with a little bit of red acrylic paint, and it was somewhat see-through, but I didn't like the effect. It looks okay here on the camera, but whenever I held it up to the light, it just didn't look very good. So I decided just to paint the apple, and I like how that turned out. I liked it a lot, actually. I mean, I do like how you can see through the pumpkin one, but I really liked how the apple turned out as well. This is just a quick reminder that if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss any future videos. Okay, for this one, I'm taking one of these footballs from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to remove its tail. And it had these little plastic, I believe it was supposed to whistle when you threw it, and that's what those were. I'm not even sure. But I removed those, and you don't even have to do this part. It ended up not being needed that I cut off the end. But I'm going for an acorn here, and so I thought I needed to remove some of it, but I removed too much, so I added some back on and then cut a little more off. But you don't even have to cut any of it off, and you'll see why later. I took some antique wax and I watered it down. I just keep a bottle of watered down antique wax on hand because I use it fairly often like that. And I have some of these wooden spoons. I bought them off of Amazon, and I can leave a link to those where I bought them on Amazon down in the description box. And I use this watered down antique wax to stain them. Again, you don't have to do this step, but I wanted to fill in those holes that this football had. Your football might not have any holes at all if you recreate this. And of course, where I had cut off some of it and reattached it, I had a hole there. And so I fixed that, and I'm just wrapping most of the football with some twine. Now, I was just winging this. I did not even have a picture to refer to of one of these that someone had done so that I could see, how they did it. I do sometimes look at other crafters' crafts and try to recreate them myself, putting my own spin on them. But for this one, I had seen these wooden spoons used in another way, and I just thought that they would work good for this. So I wish if I could go back and do it again, I would have had the spoons start even higher up on the acorn. I didn't realize that as I was stacking the spoons that it was going to leave the football, if that makes sense. It was just going to be, there's going to be nothing underneath the ends of the spoons there. But you'll see what I mean in just a little bit. But for you could use a stick from your yard or whatever you have, but I just had this dowel rod that was a paintbrush, a foam paintbrush from the Dollar Tree, and I will be staining that as well. I was going in a pattern for the first 2 rows of the spoons, but then I realized that was not going to be able to be continued on up and to build up to the stem there. And so I gave up on the pattern, and that was fine. It looked fine, not in a pattern, and just overlapped them and just eyeballed it and tried to make them look as good as possible. So this turned out really cute. I really like it. I wish, like I said, I had went a little further up with the rope and that way there wasn't, it's like half of the acorn is the cap, and so it needed to be less than half of it, but it's still really cute. And at first I put some flowers on it, and I just liked how it looked simply without any sort of embellishments. But if you recreated this, you could do it however you liked. If you had a big basket and made quite a few of these, that would be really cute to sit around. I have these corn husks here, and you can get them at most grocery stores. I have seen flowers made from corn husks, but I didn't look up any pictures or, tried to find any tutorials on it. I just winged it, and I cut out a couple of circles out of some chipboard, and I'm going to make 2 different styles. The first one's going to be super simple. And the second one's going to be it'll take a little bit longer. It's a little more complicated, the second flower, that type of flower that I made. This one is so easy. I mean, you could do this with kids. They could make different types of flowers. You can dye corn husks and make them different colors. And this would be a fun, fall craft or Thanksgiving craft to do with the kids that are old enough, to use hot glue guns, or if you had another sort of fast setting glue that you could use. I just went around the circle in sort of a daisy style and then did a second row and on top of that. For the center of the flower, I just used some expired corn kernels that I had. So if you have some old expired corn husks and corn kernels, you can make some flowers out of them. A little ways into this craft, I realized it was super easy to cut these corn kernels in half. And so if you wanted to do that, if you didn't want them sticking up off the flower as much, you could cut these in half and then glue them. Just whatever look you like best. For the stem, I just used a wooden skewer stick from the Dollar Tree and wrapped that in corn husk. And I did cover up that cardboard in the back and attach the stem with a circle of the corn husk. This next one, I needed a little bowl or like a little cap, and I used one of the apple juice caps off of those bottles from the other craft, and I covered that in some brown tape, masking tape, and it's just to make the shape different, not so flat and more of the shape of a natural flower. And so you can see how it's going to change the shape as I'm gluing these rows of petals in here. So then on the back, I'm going to glue this wooden bead here, and then the stem will go into this wooden bead, and I'll cover both the bead and that cap up with some more larger petals in the back. At the bottom, at the base of the flower there, I just took a strip of the corn husk and just covered up where everything connected to make it look nice and neat. Where those two sections were, I noticed there was a little bit of a gap where you could see that apple juice cap down in there. And so I just cut some more petals and put some hot glue on the end and stuck those down in there until I couldn't see that cap anymore. A whole bouquet of these would look really nice in a fall centerpiece, or just, single stems sitting around in some small vases. But that's it for this one. These were quicker crafts than what I usually make, and I hope you liked them. But on the next video, I'll be starting Christmas DIYs, which is exciting. That's my favorite holiday. I hope you have a wonderful day. See you in the next one.